telecast is available on ESPN2 HD, presented by Pioneer Plasma. Well, it's time now to introduce the third member of our telecast team. Doc Punch unable to be with us this time around, but it is awfully good to welcome this guy to the sideline, and great to have you with us, Jack Arute.
Well, thanks, Ron. You know, you guys already know there's a phrase that's uttered around the football program here at Wake Forest. Little old Wake Forest. Jim Grobe and the team used it to try and march to respectability this season. They not only have it in the ACC, they've got it in the country. But with this game and the game next week, Jim Grobe departed from his normal little old Wake Forest and started talking about the opportunity that this team has with 2 victories to break into the top 10. He challenged his team this week to go from 14 into the top 10 and be judged one of the best teams in this nation. But guys, as you know, there's a formidable task in front of them. As you said before we went to break, in Jim Grobe's tenure here, they have never beaten the Hokies.
All right, Jack, we look forward to hearing you tonight. Capacity house here tonight. The weather, it's not really a factor. Cool, obviously, for this time of year. Going to drop down into the 30s. 47 right now. The wind is calm, and the forecast is for clear skies. Very good news. Fast track, artificial surface here.
Well, Jack pointed out that Wake Forest has never beaten Virginia Tech under Jim Grobe, but this truly is a season of firsts. They went to Tallahassee and won for the first time in over 30 years, shut them out, as you mentioned, in the open. And Frank Beamer says the difference really with this Wake Forest team as teams in the past is the depth that they've started to accumulate. A masterful job of recruiting by Jim Grobe and his staff.
Frank Beamer, 20th season at Virginia Tech. Talk about doing a masterful job. He has been so consistent up there. Yeller prepares to kick it off. Now this is really a surprise. We're not shocked to see Kenneth Moore back deep, but Kevin Harris, who injured a knee early on, we didn't think we would see him again this year, is back as a deep return man. We'll talk more about that as the ball game goes on. Let's focus our attention on a young quarterback by the name of Riley Skinner, redshirt freshman out of Jacksonville, Florida.
The whole key, Ron, as we just said, is his control of the ball. 69% completion, leads the ACC. He's #1 in pass efficiency and only 3 turnovers. They've let him play a little more, though, Ron. He's got a better command of this offense. And with Virginia Tech so stout against the run, I think a lot of offense might go through the hands of Riley Skinner tonight.
And D'Angelo Bryant will get the start at tailback this evening. From the shotgun, little end around, hit behind the line of scrimmage is Kevin Marion, and I mean the trick play to open the ball game absolutely went nowhere. Offensively for Wake, 153.9 rushing yards per game. It's third in the ACC. One of the reasons a veteran offensive line. Ballos, Frazier, Justice at center, DeGuerre, and Griffin. We'll check the Tech defense in a moment. Loss on the play, 6 yards, 2nd and 16. Skinner, short drop to throw, out in the flat. Got it complete to Bryant, and the tailback will take it to around the 23, maybe the 24-yard line. It'll bring up 3rd down, and let's take a look at the Virginia Tech defense. First in total yards allowed with 228, and 3rd in the nation in points allowed at 10.8. The linebackers all from that 757 area code. Vince Hall, Chesapeake, Virginia. Xavier Adibi and Brendan Hill from Hampton, Virginia. Well, they are good ones, and they are very active. Line to make is the 30. Sets to throw. Deep over the middle. In and out of the hands of the intended receiver. And he was open, and that was Nate Morton. And it went right through his hands. So 3 and out.
And it was that first play by Brendan Hill that got Wake Forest behind the sticks, Ron. They can't be behind the sticks. They are an efficiency-based offense. They're not going to run big. They'll have a couple of big plays, but usually they have to be in front of sticks, especially against a team like the Hokies.
Sam Swank stands in to kick. Almost got it. End over end. The deep man runs away from it, which in this case Eddie Royal makes a mistake, gives up about 10 more yards as Frank Beamer reacts on the far sideline. Only 38 yards on the punt, but nothing on the return. Sean Glennon, the starter at quarterback. He's only a sophomore out of Centerville, Virginia.
Been struggling a little bit, and a lot of that has to do with the rotation in the offensive line. When Ryan Schumann went out, the running game's been struggling a little bit, but Glennon just got to settle down. He gets happy feet sometimes. It'll be interesting to see. I think Wake Forest is going to try to pressure him early, see if they can't get him to make a mistake.
Brandon Orr will open the ball game at tailback, number 28. But it's a quick out pass into the flat, and that's Connie. And Connie fights his way for a gain of about 8.5 yards on the first play from scrimmage. So Virginia Tech offensively, 26.8 points a ball game. That's second in the ACC behind Clemson. And the offensive line, very, very up and down this year. Fry, Gore, McGrath, Rinder, and Dwayne Brown. And we'll just see how very they can be tonight, whether it's very up or very mediocre, because they have been both this year. Fullback sets of the ball game this time, straight ahead with the block. And it'll be Orr who will take it for the first down. The block by Jesse Allen, and Zach Stooks there to make the tackle. Virginia Tech, or rather Wake Forest defensively, allowing only 13.4 points per ball game. That's 8th in the nation. 4 players have been in the program for 5 years, and that's Jamel Smith, Riley Swanson, Patrick G., and Josh Gaddish. Now, Tucker Stooks and Abadi all have been here 4 years, and the other 4 starters 3 years. So it is a veteran group. Play action. Sets to throw, but a man breaking open, and the ball is caught. 25. That's Royal down the sideline, and he will take it for the touchdown. And the defensive back for Wake Forest came up to make the interception, and he just ran right by it.
Royal in motion. He's going to run right across the middle, gets released. And as the defensive back that's backpedaling there is the cornerback Patterson, and he couldn't get out of his turn, Ron. He just couldn't get out of his break. If he would have been able to break on that, maybe be able to make a play on the ball. He should have gone for the tackle.
Pace with the extra point attempt, and wow, silence comes over the stadium as Virginia Tech makes it look far too easy if you are a Demon Deacon fan. Eddie Royal takes it the distance, 49 yards, and it's 7-0. Hokies jump on top. So Eddie Royal, 3 plays, 1 minute 24 seconds, 62 yards, the total length of the drive. And remember this, 27 consecutive wins when scoring first. That's what the Hokies have done. DeVelli prepares to kick it off for the second time in the early going to this ball game. We still have 11:36 left to play, opening quarter. And the Deeks in a little bit of shock right now. Driving kick not returnable. About 6 yards deep. That's Marion, and let's check back to the studio and Linda Cohn. Linda.
All right, Ron, it's over on ABC. This update presented by Taco Bell, and it lived up to all the hype. 42-39. Ohio State, Michigan hoping for a miracle, but Ted Ginn Jr. recovers the onside kick, and that sealed it. In the second highest scoring game in the history of Ohio State and Michigan, the Buckeyes clinch a berth in the BCS championship game.
All right, Linda, our situation. Wake Forest looking for a good, tight ball game down here, but they're going to have to do better than they did on the opening 2 sequences, both offensively and defensively.
Ron, they had a penalty on the kick, and I think they're going to go back and re-kick this. Yeah, they had a procedure on Virginia Tech.
So the 5 yards will be stepped off, and since Wake did not have a return on the football, they will gladly accept the penalty. And they'll kick it off this time from the 30-yard line.
That Ohio State-Michigan game, now everyone's going to say, was it close enough to keep Michigan at number 2? That's going to be the interesting run as we go to find out who's going to play for the national championship.
I really hope, and I mean sincerely, I hope we have 2 more weeks of football, that they will allow that to play itself out and then see, rather than just jump at that on Monday. Because I don't think that's fair to anybody else in the field.
Yeah, a bunch of the other one-loss teams have some very significant games still to play.
DeVelli with the kick. Another line drive. This is going to be at the goal line, and that's Marion. He has a 93-yarder to his credit, but this time Virginia Tech is there to smack him down at the 24. So let's take a look at the BCS. 12-0 Ohio State, Michigan at 11-1, then followed by SC. SC starts about 45 minutes to 50 behind our ball game tonight. Then Florida, Notre Dame, Rutgers, and it goes on.
Yeah, and USC still having to play Notre Dame the following week. And, of course, Florida still has Florida State. West Carolina they beat today, but still has Florida State and then the SEC championship game. So I agree with you. Let's let this thing play out because those one-loss teams might have some very valid arguments if Michigan is, in fact, at number 2.
Trevor Woods checks into the ball game at tailback, number 26. They try to run him to the left side. Nothing there. Turns the corner at the 30, and he is going to be knocked down hard at around the 32-yard line. So that's a gain of 5.5. Tackle made by Victor Macho Harris.
Well, and if you've been following Wake Forest, Travo Woods, who was 4th string coming into the season, now having to play some. Micah Andrews, of course, blew out his knee against Connecticut. Kevin Harris, who we've seen a little bit tonight, took the starting job over. And right now, Kenneth Moore, who'd come from wide receiver, has a banged shoulder. So now we're down to Travo Woods. It's been amazing what they've had to do at that spot.
Belton in at fullback. Well, that time Woods took the handoff, did not really follow his fullback, and as a result, inside he got knocked down quickly.
Well, and here's the guys that will have to pick up the slack because of the uncertainty at running back position. Nate Morton, who can throw the ball as well. He's got 3 passing touchdowns. He was a quarterback in high school. And Kevin Marion may be the fastest guy on the field. And that's saying something against Virginia Tech. But Marion ran a 10-200 meters in high school, and he's great on the end arounds.
Good look at Nate Morton right there. Threw a touchdown pass in the Clemson game here on an end around. Redshirt senior out of Harlingen, Texas. From the shotgun. Quarterback draw. Call to play and got to be stopped. Punting time, and he's 2 yards short of the first down. Brendan Hill, one of those 3 very active linebackers for Virginia Tech, coming up to make the stop. So the pattern is not good right now if you are a Wake Forest fan. It's very good if you're Virginia Tech.
Well, the good news for Wake Forest, though, Ron, it's not like they've, other than last weekend against Florida State, every game's been close. So I don't think these young men will panic.
Eddie Royal is the deep man as Sam Swank stands back to kick. Sam out of Jacksonville Beach, Florida, also does the place kicking and has been simply magnificent at not only punting but in place kicking as well. Great kick, good high coverage kick. Royal, fair catch called for way back at the 20-yard line. So that's a 46-yard punt. Take a timeout. Hokies 7-0.
Golston. ESPN2's College Football Primetime, brought to you by Remington Titanium Shavers and ESPN Game Plan, Maximum College Football. To order, call your pay-per-view provider or log on to ESPN.com, search Game Plan.
Well, 90 individuals are represented in the Wake Forest Sports Hall of Fame. It was established in 1970 with the induction of the late football star Brian Piccolo. First down from the 20 and a quick out pass, and that comes out to the number 81 Justin Harper, and Harper behind a block takes it out over the 30 to around the 32. And let's go down to the sideline. Jack Arute, what do you got for us, partner?
Well, Ron, I asked Frank Beamer earlier in the week if he could define a turning point. Remember at midseason, this was a team that lost to Virginia, that lost to Georgia Tech, and then lost to BC. Well, it was this display on ESPN back in October that Frank Beamer teed up the following Monday. He showed it to his players and to his team, and he asked them if they wanted to be judged by America by that disarray. They said no, and they've gone on a tear since.
You know, Jack, a veteran coach picks up something like that immediately. That's the greatest point you can make to the kids. Again, it's Harper, near sideline, going to step out of bounds just across the 35, and they've had at least 5 or 6 yards on every snap.
And I give a lot of credit to Frank Beamer for doing that. You know, a lot of guys would shy away from it and be upset. Maybe it was Kirk Herbstreit who was pretty hard about what went on there, but he didn't shy away from it at all. And I applaud that he showed his players and said, listen, that behavior is what people are going to see. And you can't do that. Let's get ourselves together. And really, there were some defensive captains that really reined everybody in.
Plus the fact, you can't play as a team having that kind of stuff going on. Second down, the line to make is out at the 42. Then they'll keep it on the ground. Big opening for Orr as a flag comes down. And he will have the first down +3. But let's check the marker at the line of scrimmage.
And Orr is down.
And I mean, those trainers sprinted off the bench. That's not a good sign.
Well, and this is the entire key to this offense. Orr, who leads the ACC, leaving an illegal shift against Virginia Tech. Let's see if he gets twisted as he goes down on the ground. Landed on his foot.
Illegal shift. 2 members of the offense in motion at the same time. 5 yards to the line of scrimmage. Repeat second down.
Works north of the border, not here. So hopefully that is just something that stung him a little bit. But the inadvertent thing that can happen, and we see it every week, where somebody rolls up on an ankle or a knee, and in this case it was his foot. And we'll get a report as soon as we can as Kenny Lewis, number 20, a freshman out of Danville, Virginia, will come in at tailback.
Well, you drop off quite a bit, Ron. You go from over 109 yards per game, which leads the ACC, to Lewis, who's a very good young man, but he's just getting back from 3 years in baseball. He has 57 yards total on the season, so Brandon Orr is so key.
Second down and 10. They give it to Lewis, tries to bounce it outside. He's going to be stopped after a gain of 1. And the locals are up and cheering for the defense there as they finally get a stop of something less than 5 or 6 yards that they've been gaining on every snap. Arnoux was the man who made the tackle. And there's another player injured coming off the field for Wake Forest.
Well, it looks like Orr is in quite a bit of pain. Josh Gaddis, the safety, landed on that foot, all of his weight. I don't know if he twisted the ankle or if maybe he just got that foot caught.
I think it was Lockett that came off the field, favoring his right arm. Third down, they need to take it to the 42. Ball is tossed and it is caught, and that's the tight end Sam Wheeler, redshirt freshman out of right there in Blacksburg.
Well, the one thing that Sean Glennon has been battling is footwork. It's been a little uncomfortable in the pocket. That time, a good pocket. The ball got out very quick to the tight end Wheeler, set his feet and threw it. Ron, when we were looking at tape of him yesterday, well, there was times against Miami and Kent State where he just didn't know what to do with his feet. They worked very hard on him this week. Mike O'Kane, the quarterback coach, and Brian Steins being the offensive coordinator. It looks like he settled in.
First and 10, takes the end around, tries to go long, is hit behind the line of scrimmage, and the first sack of the evening, and it's John Russell, a redshirt freshman out of Jacksonville, on the tackle. Let's check in with Jack Arute down on the sideline. Jack?
Ron, let me see if I can give you an update on what they're doing to Brandon Orr. They've taken the tape off his left ankle there, looking right at the ankle area. In fact, Frank Beamer came over to check on his star running back, and the pain seems to have subsided a little bit, and Frank Beamer left with a smile on his face. So I'm going to guess that maybe Brandon Orr might be returning to battle shortly.
Head coaches, Jack, stay very busy on the sideline, but when the star goes down, they come over and check him out for very good reason. Second down and 15. Sets in the pocket, going to go long. Far sideline, and incomplete.
Ball was played very well by Alphonso Smith. He found the ball in the air and played it perfectly, running stride for stride. But watch out, Smith ran stride for stride, and he closed on Royal because Royal tipped where the ball was coming. That's good coverage by Smith and good timing when he made contact right when the ball got there.
Alphonso Smith has really had an outstanding freshman year. Now, the moment that he would love to forget, and the coaches told him he better forget it, better never happen again. He got kicked out of that Clemson game, if you'll remember, late in the contest, or at a time when there was still enough time left, he could have helped his ball club. Third down. They want to hold on. They're going to take it across midfield to the 46. Blitz coming, pass over the middle, just a little too tall for Harper. Had him open, but he just threw it way too high, and you got to remember Harper is 6'4".
And this is what they've been working with Sean Glennon. A lot of people around Blacksburg thinking that Ike Whitaker, the freshman quarterback who's a little better athlete, but he's been inconsistent in practice as well, maybe give him a chance, but that's what Glennon has struggled with. That ball comes down, you've got a first down.
Nick Schmidt steps on to kick, his longest 58, and his average 41, as Willie Idolette, one of the seniors on this Wake Forest football team, is back deep. Left-footed. Oh, this is a good one. Spiral turns over very high, very long. Out left from the 17. Tries to turn the corner, and boy, that is great pursuit on the special teams by Virginia Tech. 44 yards on the punt, 7 on a return. Ellis forced him out of bounds. The way, or they're taping an ice bag to his ankle. 2 3-and-outs for Wake Forest. 6 snaps, 13 yards, 1 sack. Skinner, heavy pressure on him. He just throws it away. That was Powell, Carlton Powell, coming with the pressure. One of the things that Skinner said yesterday as he visited with you and Jack and myself, he talked about his decision making would have to be much quicker in this ball game.
It was a nice decision.
It was a nice decision, but on every snap we've seen that. Now that is their 7th snap, and they really don't have anything to show for it yet.
Yeah, and I think that the way Virginia Tech is running, again, it may come down to Skinner, and can they give him time? That time they weren't able to.
Travel Woods gets the handoff, tries to take it out wide to the right, and he's going to be knocked down at the line of scrimmage. A little pushing and shoving after the play. Nate Morton involved with one of the Virginia Tech players. Kerry Wade came up from his free safety position to make the tackle.
And now again, Wake Forest behind the sticks. They want 3rd, 3rd and 4, where they can do some end arounds and everything like that. They start to get into this 3rd and long, and that 37% is going to be hard to get against this defense.
Well, you're sure playing into a really good defense's hands. I mean, this is the way it is prescribed for them. On 3rd down, they fake the run. Pressure comes, gets it out in the flat, and that's to Selman, the tight end. He makes the catch, but he is 2 yards short again, and it's going to be the 3rd straight 3-and-out for the Demon Deacons. DJ Parker and Brendan Hill combining on the stop.
Well, and Bud Foster, the defensive coordinator for Virginia Tech, he has such a fast defense. He said, are we going to be able to play disciplined? And that time, Chris Ellis, their best defensive end, did an excellent job of making, on the back around by the quarterback, making Skinner get rid of it before he wanted to.
Royal, the deep man. Sam Swank waits for the snap, gets it away, driving spiral. This one's going to turn over, and it's Royal at the 24. He is covered in black jerseys. Wow. Let's go back to the sideline. Jack, I understand you got more on that injury to Orr.
Yeah, Ron, and it's not good news. When Brandon Orr got retaped, they tried to put a little weight on that left ankle, and it just would not bear any weight whatsoever. The trainer has just told me he is out for the rest of the game.
Boy, that's tough. And we just got another replay of it, Jack, and you can see, again, it's one of those inadvertent things where a leg comes down across the ankle, and the foot bends in the wrong direction.
And this guy, the only back in Virginia Tech history with 2 games over 200 yards. He actually did them in back-to-back games against Southern Miss and Clemson when the 4-game winning streak they're currently started.
John Abadi back in the game at middle linebacker. That run comes straight by him. George Bell in the game at tailback. Abadi helped out on the tackle, but again, to make the point, what's happening for Virginia Tech is just the opposite of what's happening for Wake. They're playing so far in front of the sticks. They only got two yards to pick up here with a 2nd down. In other words, a down to play with. Just the opposite is the case for Wake.
Abadi is banged up. He's got an ankle, so they're even a little thin on defense at Wake Forest. And Frank Beamer's got to be happy with Brandon Orr on the sideline, still able to run in the middle.
Jesse Allen at fullback. And Frank Beamer likes to do that, get a fullback in there to block, but he decoys, puts him out on the flat, and Allen, instead of blocking, caught the pass, and it's good for the 1st down all the way to the 42. Anthony Davis defensively.
And so far, Brian Steinspring, the offensive coordinator, can do no wrong. The pass to Royal for the touchdown was a long crossing route that the defense wasn't set for in their zone, and that time he sneaks a blocker out, and things are just going really well for Glennon. I like some of these calls, Ron, get him into a rhythm, some easy throws.
Well, they're doing a really good job of making that young quarterback comfortable, if you will. 3 wide receiver set this time. Short drop to throw, quick out. That ball tipped at the line of scrimmage, and Hyman had no opportunity to get there as Anthony Davis, number 93, is the man who got a hand on it. He's a redshirt sophomore out of Columbia, South Carolina.
Virginia Tech, who has really struggled offensively. They've had games this year on the struggle to get to 200 yards of total offense. Just over 200 last week against Kent State, who's not one of the better defenses in the country. So right now they're on a great roll for how they've been this season.
Got to make that man we were just looking at on camera extremely happy. Blitz coming off the corner. They throw back in that direction. Clowney gets by a tackle, takes it to the 50-yard line. Going to be short of the first down. It'll be 3rd and 2, and now a late flag has come in.
Well, and they're going to get Josh Morgan with a late hit, totally away from the play.
Dead ball. Personal foul, late hit. Number 2 in the offense. 15 yards from the end of the run. It'll be 3rd down.
Josh Morgan, and you see who was first on the field to explain to him how he messed up.
Well, and what a shame. Things are going so well offensively for a team that's really been struggling. And Coach Beamer is going to give Morgan all he can handle, because that's just not a smart play on the road against the hottest team in the ACC. Don't let him off the hook right now.
No, Wake has proven that they don't need a lot of assistance. I mean, they have one loss, and that was against Clemson, a game that they should have won right here. 3rd down, and now the line to make. Virginia Tech has to take it across midfield to the 48. And they go with a conservative call with the draw play. Smart. Virginia Tech does not want to do something foolish. They have such a stranglehold on the Demon Deacons right now. Curry was there to make the tackle.
It is a good call, and you can call it conservative, whatever. Ron, this game is going to come down to field position and turnovers. And right now, because of the penalty, I think that's a wise decision. Up 7-0. They're fine right now playing error-free football.
Willie Idolette back to receive the 2nd punt of the night by Nick Schmidt. Frank loves left footers, doesn't he?
12 years in a row. It's got to be a
driving kick. Wow, this one better than the last. Fair catch is signaled for and made at the 13-yard line. Well, watch Monday Night Football on ESPN at 8:30 Eastern. Tiki Barber, Eli Manning, and the Giants try to maintain their lead in the NFC East as they visit Fred Taylor and the Jacksonville Jaguars. Also available in high definition on ESPN HD and Spanish on ESPN Deportes.
One of the things that Wake Forest, we've talked about their running back situation, has been struggling with. D'Angelo Bryant, who's a very good running back, had 100 yards against Ole Miss, has been struggling with fumbling. And you look at Tiki Barber.
Going to kick. We have holding. Number 7 of the receiving team. Half the distance to the goal. First down.
Well, you've already been in a hole quite a bit.
Riley Swanson.
But getting back, Ron, to D'Angelo Bryant, he's just had some trouble fumbling the ball, and they've been working on it, but it becomes one of those things where you don't want to talk about it too much, and that's probably why we've seen Travel Woods a little bit more in the game tonight.
Starting to say they don't have him in the ball game right now. Travel Woods back in there. Tries to bounce it outside. He does. 10 out to the 15, and that will give them some breathing room. A gain of very close to 10 yards in the play. In fact, from where they have spotted it, Ed, I believe he's going to have the first down, and if they ever needed a first down at any juncture in this ballgame, that's going to be their initial first down of the night.
Boy, a great little move on the outside, too. There was 2 defenders standing right in his face, and Travo Wood threw a nice shake to get to the outside. And you just can't say enough about how many running backs Wake Forest has been through, and now they bring in Woods. They're going to need something positive out of him.
And obviously Kenneth Moore, the wide receiver, the shoulder is too tender for him to go at tailback tonight. He's the man who has been moved to that position. Skinner looks for the middle screen, throws it complete. Boy, that is a great job as Travel Woods made the catch, but closed very, very quickly. Booker was the guy who got there to make the tackle.
And Booker's a guy that Bud Foster said has been the biggest surprise of the season. He's replacing Jonathan Lewis, who went on to play. He's out in Arizona playing for the Cardinals, and they lost 3 guys in the middle of that defensive line. And Booker, a junior, has really stepped up. He's been one of the keys to them getting better and better as the season has gone on.
So here we go. with only 1 yard and first down. Behind the sticks, a second down at about 9.5. And they hand it out to Willie Idolette, who turns the corner 20-25. And that will be the end of the way as Chris Ellis is there to make the tackle on him.
Ron, let me update you on the condition of Jeremy Thompson, the defensive end for Wake Forest. He has sprained his shoulder, and you can see that what they've done is they've taken his shoulder pads off. Now, beneath that wrap is some ice. They still have not taken him completely out of the game. They're going to reevaluate it after that ice tries to take the swelling down.
Okay, Jack. Third down for the Deacons. They need to take it about 2.5 yards to get the first. Hit behind the line of scrimmage, and that's number 9, Vince Hall.
Such a good pair of linebackers with Vince Hall and Xavier Adibi. The best pair, Bud Foster said, he's ever coached in his 20 years at Virginia Tech. And Ron, they're just running downhill. That's not a blitz. They're just reading the holes because the defensive line is doing such a good job of swallowing up the blockers. It's keeping Adibi and Hall free to run around and make plays.
Fourth down, and the fourth time in the opening quarter that Wake Forest will have to punt. Swank's kick coming down at the 37, and a fair catch called for by Eddie Royal, and that is the end of the opening quarter. So let's take a timeout. Hokies 7, Demon Deacons nothing, but it has been all Virginia Tech.
This was an offense, guys, that was in shock.
Okay, Jack. In the ball game again is Kenny Lewis at tailback, and he takes it for very short yardage. And I'll tell you, I not only have to agree with Lobo that if they play that badly, they'll lose badly.
Well, and that's been the whole key for Virginia Tech, and even more so now with Brandon Orr out of the ball game, and it doesn't look like he's going to return. And the offensive line, Steve Labotsky is the offensive coordinator and the offensive line coach, so he's taking it very personally, all those white shirts in his backfield.
Play action. Good block by the tailback, Lewis. Pass thrown complete to Wheeler. And the tight end takes it inside the 35, and he's down to the 32-yard line. Patrick G on the tackle. That's good for 28 yards.
What an excellent throw by Glennon. You know, he's been a little inconsistent with his accuracy, but this an excellent throw to Wheeler. And remember, Steinspring, Ron, told us that Wheeler has a lot of ability. This is his first start tonight because the light is starting to come on. He's, as a freshman, starting to figure it out.
You know, they label him now as the most productive of the tight ends. Ed Wang, number 85, is more of a blocker. They think Wheeler is going to turn into an offensive weapon. And they've used him very well so far tonight. 2 catches. In motion, they pitch it back. It's going to be a pass, and that is Royal to the end zone. It is intercepted. That is Josh Gaddis who took it away.
Well, Gaddis had a run of 4 games in a row with an interception. Had an ankle injury, was not even supposed to play last week against Florida State, hobbled out and played about 20 snaps, but he never gives up on this one. Just great how he backs out last second, and the ball is underthrown, Ron.
Boy, he had him open for a long time.
Royal just underthrew that ball, and I think he held it a little too long. He should have just let it go instead of trying to make the perfect throw to Harper. Should have just let it go, but Gaddis now with 5 interceptions, and Wake Forest again. This is the ball game they like to play. Get turnovers.
11 in the turnover margin. 12th interception is Travel Woods. Checks in at tailback again. They fake it to him. Skinner wanted to throw, and now he's going to throw it away. Interesting, because it looked as though Selman, the tight end, was open there for a time. Didn't want to throw it to him.
Well, he was looking up top, it looked like to me, to Marion. And Marion was just blanketed in coverage. And Skinner couldn't see it, and then he was too late coming back down to Selman. But they need to get something going, and it does look like, because of the struggles in the run game, they're going to let Skinner sling it around a little bit more than he ever has.
Now the single setback is Rich Belton, the fullback. They get it on an end around to Idolette. And that's going to be just a short adventure for him. And let's check in with Linda Cohn for a SportsCenter in-game update.
Okay, Ron, in the shadow of Ohio State's big win over Michigan, Auburn played Alabama. Late in the third, Brandon Cox, a 22-yard touchdown pass to Preche Rodriguez. Alabama with 4 turnovers. Auburn goes on to win the Iron Bowl, puts Mike Shula's job in jeopardy.
Okay, Linda, our situation, we have a personal foul that was called as Idolette came out of bounds, and we'll try to get an explanation here. There you see the signal. Looks like Aaron Rouse is the man that was called for the personal foul.
Dead ball. Personal foul. Late hit, number 36 out of bounds. Player into the vehicle. 15 yards, automatic first down.
Well, Virginia Tech has all of the momentum in this game. Let's see as they come over. I didn't really see anything, Ron, unless something happened well after the play.
He just continued to drive him and drove him into, in fact, the camera truck.
It looked like it was the continuation of the play. I didn't.
Well, yeah, but normally a guy will take his hands back. Yeah, he just continued to drive him until they hit Goodyear.
But the only thing that Virginia Tech is doing right now is giving momentum with penalties with Wake Forest. They've got them on the ropes. Don't help them out.
First down from the 38. Straight ahead is Rich Belton. Ball is loose. Flag comes in.
Well, I think they're going to get Valos now, who flattened Xavier Adibi after the play was over. Well, now don't go tit for tat so that now you're taking away something that was helping out an offense. It's been stagnant. And Valos, who's the toughest player on the offensive line for Wake Forest.
Dead ball. Personal foul. Late hit. Number 75 on the offense. 15 yards from the end of the run. Second down.
You just have to be smarter. You hear the whistle. And Valos just continued the ball clearly over. I mean, you want to go through just right to the end of the whistle, but that was clearly after it, Ron.
So with the penalty, it's now going to be second down and about 23 for Wake to pick up the first down. Pass over the middle, got that incomplete. Idolette, and really is going to hand the ball out over the 40 to around the 41-yard line. Vince Hall from his linebacking spot. Gain of 16.
There was 13 seniors honored tonight for their last game at Wake Forest. Willie Idolette, one of them. And this senior class has done an amazing job. This team went 4-7 2 years in a row coming into this season, and with Arkansas tied for the biggest turnaround from last year to this year. And Idolette he's a little upset about what happened over the sidelines, and they need guys like this, Ron, to keep stepping up and making plays.
Third down, they got to take it to the 48-yard line or punt for the 5th time. Skinner running for his life. Going to keep it. Will be down well short as he got knocked down very hard by Chris Ellis. Wake is going to have to come up with someone who can run at tailback, or it's going to be a very long evening.
Yeah, and Skinner that time gets flushed out of the pocket, and none of his receivers helped him out, Ron. None of the receivers saw that he was scrambling and came back to him. And so he had to tuck it. And there's Ellis getting a shot from behind, but that's just unfair to the quarterback. The receivers have to come off their routes and come back to help him out.
Swank with the boot. Wobbly spiral, not as long. Fair catch called for at the 22-yard line. So we're going to take a timeout. 11:45 left until halftime. 36-yard punt. Hokies by 7. 7-0. Virginia Tech on top. And the alignment would say they're going to run the football. Fullback and a tailback. 2 tight ends that come straight ahead with George Bell. And they forced their way for almost 8 yards on the play. Chip Vaughn on the stop. Only one wide receiver on that play as far as the alignment. And a red zone alert. Rutgers on the Cincinnati 15.
One of the injuries that really affected Virginia Tech was the loss of Ryan Schumann, the offensive guard, and they had to flop some guys in there. Brandon Gore, Sergio Render, who's a true freshman, has been playing a lot better lately, but they've just had some inconsistency. It looks like they found a little rhythm.
Clowney, the man to the bottom of your screen, and that same offensive alignment. 2 tight ends, 2 running backs. They take it straight ahead. And undoubtedly, Frank Beamer has made up his mind. We're just going to wind the clock. We're going to run the football and play good defense. We don't care aesthetically if it leaves something to be desired. We're going to play old-fashioned smash mouth.
And you can't blame him, Ron. At this juncture, Wake Forest has been able to get nothing going offensively. And Wake Forest's whole game is based on their running attack and misdirection. And down to their 4th and 5th string running backs, I think Coach Beamer's saying, you know what? I want to see if this freshman quarterback can beat us on his own. He hasn't had to do it yet this year, and that's going to be, can Skinner do it on his own?
Quick count, straight ahead with the running play, and Bell will have the first down as he takes it out across the 35 to around the 36. And game track, this is what has happened so far in our ball game. Glennon, 49-yard touchdown pass to Eddie Royal. This came on the 3rd play of the ball game, and then we'll see how devastating this turns out to be. Brendan Orr injures his ankle, and he's out for the night. But boy, the defensive play like that.
That's been the entire modus operandi for Virginia Tech on this 4-game winning streak, is they have played lights out on defense continuing tonight.
And around, the ball is fumbled and recovered by Virginia Tech. And I'll tell you, David Clowney will get a lecture when he gets to the bench. Instead of falling on the football, he tried to pick it up with 2 black jerseys coming after him.
Never got it. He didn't give a good enough pocket. That's a nice handoff by Glennon, Ron. He just didn't give a good enough pocket. He got a little bit of a lucky bounce there.
Yes, he did.
He put his hands together. You know, you've got to leave those hands apart, so when the quarterback sticks it in there, then you clamp. One of his hands got in the way. Glennon did a nice job. It was Clowney who wasn't able to grab it.
2nd down and 15. Tech leads it 7-0. Pass over the middle. The ball is caught at the 42-yard line. That is a nice job by 81 Justin Harper.
Well, Harper, a guy, it looks like Josh Hyman struggling, but Harper is a guy who's really stepped up his game. There's so many guys at receiver. Excellent job going up and making the play with his hands, but with Josh Morgan and Royal and Clowney, it's been Harper who down the stretch has been their most productive wide receiver.
Boy, that does not look good for Josh right there. Junior out of Chesapeake, played at Deep Creek High School. Really a tough-minded kid. The coaches commented on that the other day. Great competitor. So we'll try to get a report on him. You know, the thing about Justin Harper that the coaches mentioned as well is yards after the catch.
And boy, Hyman just planted wrong. Non-contact injury.
Play action. Pressure comes. Ball was knocked up in the air. That's Alphonso Smith, who was coming off the corner on the blitz. And he got a hand up and knocked it down. And it's 4th down.
Well, Dean Hood has really challenged Alphonso Smith. Smith was a freshman All-American last year and was struggling early in the season. So they started putting him on the bench at the beginning of the game and found that he's played a little bit better, and that's a nice job by Dean Hood, bringing a corner blitz right into the quarterback's face.
Now this time a dual safety set back. Moore and Idolette. Don't see that a lot on punting situations. Wake trying to make sure that they get some kind of return. Here's the boot. Line drive. It is returnable. And it's going to be taken at the 25, 30, 35. That's Kenneth Moore. And Moore will take it to the 40-yard line. 34 yards in the punt, 16 on the return. 7-0 Virginia Tech. What you're looking at is the Wake Chapel that houses the Janet Bells. That steeple, it's reaching up 213 feet. Handoff goes to Woods. Starts Bulldogs going north and south. Picks up about 3. Linda Cohn, let's check back. What do you have for us?
Okay, Ron, over on ESPN, Rutgers and Cincinnati. Cincy fumbles their opening play, but Rutgers could not capitalize when Jeremy Ito missed a field goal from 31 yards away. The game remains scoreless as Rutgers is looking to stay unbeaten.
All right, Linda. Not easy when you go on the road, and particularly after a huge win. A lot of folks patting you on the back. Wake Forest has gone through some of that this week. Players say it hasn't made a difference, but I'm not sure. Pass over the middle. Got it complete. There was a first down as they start this position in with the best starting field position that they've had the entire night. Nate Morton, here he comes.
And Morton, who has just excellent hands. Good route, breaks to the inside, and he does an excellent job of shielding Brandon Flowers. Flowers turning into an excellent cornerback, but that was a nice route to hug onto him and then break off late. A nice throw.
First down, fakes a run, throws the pass out, and I don't know what happened. Idlett misjudged that. You know, Wake Forest starting tailback Micah Andrews tore the ACL in his left knee back on September the 16th in a victory at UConn. He's a junior, and he had been averaging over 85 yards per ball game.
And it's gotten worse for Wake Forest. Travo Woods in there now because of injuries to Kevin Harris and also Kenneth Moore, who we've seen on punts but not at running back.
Well, nothing to the right. Going to reverse his field and take it down to the 41-yard line. This, by the way, is the first time that Wake has been in Virginia Tech territory tonight. DJ Parker was there to make the tackle on Woods.
You know, when Wake Forest lost Ben Mock with a shoulder and broken arm against Syracuse, that's the position that Jim Grove thought they were going to have the toughest time replacing. But Riley Skinner has actually played well, and instead it's been running back that's been difficult.
On the shotgun, and now he comes up, does Skinner, with an audible. Third down, they need to take it to the 36-yard line. Got a man. Cut is made, pass is thrown, got the first down. That's to Morton, and I'll tell you, cutting right over the middle of the field, Willie Idlett at a time looked like the first guy out to the workout.
You know,
his quarterback just didn't see him.
Well, he had Morton underneath, but you're right, Idlett. Watch Idlett's going to come and run the post, and then Morton's going to come underneath. And the post is open, Ron. You can't blame the quarterback for a big play, but I believe he would have had Idlett for a touchdown if he'd have come back. Good throw and catch, but looked like it could have been more.
Longest play of the night for Wake, 16 yards. From the 26. This running play will go for very short yardage. And Jack Arute, let's check with you down on the sideline again.
Well, fellas, I think Steve Lubitsky's chastising of his offense has paid off. Before they came out for this series, he yelled at him again nonstop during the defensive series and said, guys, this is the worst you've played all season. If you're only down by 7, you ought to go thank all the defense. Now get out there, don't respond to the jawing by the Virginia Tech Hokies, and just get to work. So far, they've done. By the way, update on Hyman, he will return.
Okay, that's good. Second down, they need about 9.5. Blitz coming off the corner, and they ran right into the blitz. Boy, that is a great call. Now, I don't know if that's luck or a lot of video watching, but they were right there before the ball was handed off almost. Marion hit by Brendan Hill.
But Riley Skinner should have called this off, Ron. The body language of the blitzer, Brendan Hill, should have told him that he was coming. Hill is an outside linebacker lined up on the slot, and he was up on his toes. Skinner should have seen that, called off that play, and gone back the other way. He didn't see it.
And officially, Vince Hall now with 4 tackles. Third down, and they got a long way to go down to the 16. Blitz coming right up the middle. Gets his pass away. It is caught, but the tackle is made on Marion immediately. And what do you think about field goal situation here?
Well, Sam Swank has 5 field goals over 50 yards, the most in college football. So I would suspect he's going to get a shot at it. They are so comfortable with him from great distances, and this one's going to be right in there at that 47, 48 yarder.
So it's a 47-yard attempt officially at the far hash mark. Good pass and hold. Plenty of distance on this one. And Wake is on the board. Take a timeout. 4:16 left until halftime. 7-3. The Hokies lead. These guys, the Demon Deacons, have found a way to bring demons into the stadium, and they have demonized some good opponents this year. 4-point game. It's a driving kick. That's going to go out of the back of the end zone. And Jack Arute, what do you got for us?
Well, Ron, let's figure out if we can find out why Sam Swank's so deadly from so far out. He told us yesterday that one of the reasons is where he practices here in Wake Forest, and it is on the side of a hill right behind the uprights. You see all that sagebrush, and he says when it rains, it was so muddy. He said, I don't want to go climbing up there for the balls. He said, so I just backed up 15 or 20 yards. He said, the next thing I know, I was splitting the uprights from 40 and 50.
You know, Jack, what's so interesting, he said, because I said you hit a 50-yarder the same way you do a 30, and you don't overkick. He said, that's because I didn't want to climb that hill. Everybody needs to get a hill. He is very good. 5 kicks over 50 yards this year.
Well, in a game that is this close, if it comes down to the kickers, we have 2 of the very best in the country. And Sam Swank actually said he was looking forward to going over and meeting Brandon Pace. Brandon has hit 19 field goals in a row going back to last year, a new Virginia Tech record. But Swank's got all those 50-yarders, so a little back and forth. You got the long distance guy and you got the guy who never misses. Pretty good kickers in this ball game if it comes down to it.
Sam doesn't worry about too much, does he?
No, he sure doesn't.
Here comes pressure. Gets away from it. Now more pressure, and the pass is just simply going to be overthrown as Tucker was the man applying the pressure, and then Barry took him down hard.
And now Wake Forest is getting a little momentum. This is the first time at 3:11 in the second quarter they've had any momentum whatsoever. It doesn't look like John Abadi, their defensive leader and inspirational leader on defense, is going to be able to play much tonight. So guys like Barry have to step it up. And I would think Dean Hood is going to think about some pressure here, Ron, because Glennon can be forced into happy feet, and he might throw this to Wake Forest.
3rd down. They need to take it to the 30-yard line. Hokies 7-3. Glennon. Here comes pressure. Runs up into the pocket. Pumps it. And now is going to be tackled. That's Alfonso Smith. I'll tell you, Smith has had himself a very good ball game tonight. And that's a huge play because it brings up another punt.
Boy, watch Aaron Curry on this play, Ron. He does such an excellent job of disguising his blitz. It didn't look like he was going to come, and then right at the last second he was actually looking out and does a good job running right by Kenny Lewis, the running back, and that made Glennon get out of there. Good job by Curry faking like he wasn't going to come.
That is the first 3 and out of the ball game for the Hokies. Here's the boot. Again, a dual safety back and a good high-hanging spiral. Fair catch is called for and is made by Idolette. Linda Cohn, let's check back with you.
Okay, Ron, coming up in the Yamaha ATV halftime report, the game won by the Ohio State Buckeyes. We'll have highlights, analysis, and reaction. We'll have reaction from the guys who called the game. They will dissect just how good Troy Smith is and has he locked up the Heisman. Also, now that we know Ohio State's playing in the big game, who are they going to play as we'll run down the BCS hopefuls, all coming up at halftime.
Okay, Linda.
Here's why I think Troy Smith wrapped it up today, Ron. Every time, and it was a great game, every time Michigan would chase them, he'd go back out and answer it. And he just kept them at that 10-point lead the entire time. He just had an answer for it every time. And on that big stage, I think he may have locked it up. I really do. He played great this afternoon.
We will see. 2 more weeks left.
Yep, there sure are.
I don't think anybody should cast their ballot yet.
I think the interesting team talking about hopefuls is USC with Cal tonight and then Notre Dame. Things could get, if they win those games, it's going to be awfully hard to keep them out of the picture.
What if Quinn goes to Southern Cal and lights up the Trojans?
then some of those
that's the reason I'm saying don't cast your ballots tonight.
Oh no, mine's on my desk. It will not go until the last minute that I have to send it. I promise you.
Knocked into the air, knocked down by 49, Chris Ellis. Chris has had himself an outstanding ball game tonight from that left defensive end position. They flip him, he plays right and left.
Ellis, one of those guys who's had to fight to keep some weight on. He's such an athletic guy. And they give these guys free rush. He goes right inside the left tackle, Valos. That's one thing that Steve Labotsky said he was very concerned about, that these defensive ends don't concern themselves with contain. That time Ellis, a great inside move.
Again from the shotgun, no blitz, straight away, 4-man rush, pass thrown complete to Morton. Red zone alert.
Well, for Riley Skinner right now, we've seen a couple of little screens with the slot receiver to the top. I think they should think about a screen to one of these wide receivers. They're finally ahead of the sticks.
Quarterback draw, plan to play, and I'll tell you, it is a first down with 1:38 showing on the clock.
I think this was a double read by the quarterback. Right now, he's got a screen set up over to Idolette. He looks that way and then breaks up the middle. I think he could have taken it if he wanted to, but he saw the middle open up. Good read by the quarterback.
Well, after the first down, the clock whistled right back in. 1:32 and counting. Blitz comes right up the middle this time. Skinner got a man and just a little too far away from Kevin Marion.
Well, that's Barry Booker bringing pressure again from the middle, and Skinner did a good job of shaking, but not a very accurate throw as he was running to his right. And Skinner has been very accurate on the run, so a little out of sorts for him.
Well, the point you made earlier is right on. He has not been asked to win a ball game for them this year. Tonight, that's about what's happening with the pressure that Virginia Tech's putting on. Screen near sideline to Woods, and not very much doing. They're going to spot him down at the 45, and it'll be third down. Clock continues to run at 1:10 and now 1:09.
Well, the one thing they're concerned about with Kenneth Moore, Ron, is that shoulder. If you're going to run the screen, I know Virginia Tech will see your personnel, but Kenneth Moore should be in for those types of plays.
Need to take it to the 50. Protection breaks down. Ball is tipped and almost intercepted by Hall.
Skinner tried to force this. He does have a very good arm, but he tries to force it as he goes up in the middle.
That's Flowers had got a hand on it.
And Rouse is there too, the safety. But Skinner, he should have tucked that down and run. He may have been able to get there.
Sam Swank back in the ball game to punt. Now a timeout has been called by Virginia Tech.
That's their first timeout in this half.
And truthfully, I don't know why Wake was in a hurry to get away a punt. Run that clock down, go to the locker room, trailing by 4. We'll take a timeout. 7-3 Virginia Tech.
They have been so consistent, Ron, in going after the punter, and Frank Beamer took that timeout so they could go after this punt by Swank. I think it's a good move by him.
6th punt of the night. His all-time high is 7 in a ball game. The spiral's not going to turn over. And it takes a Wake bounce and then goes out of bounds at the 21. So 41 seconds showing on the clock, 35 on that punt. And Virginia Tech got a little bit of working time with fair field position.
Oh, I think Frank might want to play it conservative again, Ronnie. The thing that's going to kill them, either team in this game, is turnovers. And I think they may just be happy. Little momentum, though, for Wake Forest going into halftime, because Wake Forest never had any until about 3:11 left in this quarter.
George Bell comes out. He'll operate at tailback. The clock is running now with 20 seconds. And that's what they're going to do. Bell, last play of the first half. He goes down at the 22. John Abadi on the tackle. And clock is now at 10 at 9, and we are at halftime. Frank Beamer's ball club made it look very easy, scoring on the 3rd play of our ball game, but they have not scored since. Wake added a field goal in the 2nd quarter, and that's how we stand at 7-3. And let's go down to the sideline. Jack Arute with Jim Grobe.
All right, Coach, what do you want to see out of your team in this second half?
Well, I think we got to be more consistent offensively, Jack. We missed some blocks out here in the first half and really had terrible field position most of the first half. I think all of the first quarter we were in bad field position. A lot of it was because we didn't put hats on people.
How about momentum going into halftime? You gained a little bit there with that 3 points on the board.
I think so. I think we're pretty good. You know, the way it started out, they went right through us and scored, and things didn't look very good. 7-3. I think we ought to feel pretty good about that right now.
7-3 our score as the Hokies are on top. After this kickoff, we're going to show you the stats in the first half, and you'll say, wow, they are fortunate, just as their head coach said when he left the field at halftime, to still be in this ball game. Here comes the kick, and it's touched at the 20-yard line. 35-40, that is Weatherford, who has the return, and now here comes a late flag in.
First and 10. Fans, we direct your attention to the field where Mac Hendricks is assisting Dean Kicker second string for the removal of the kicking team.
Holding called against Virginia Tech. So the short kick, they had themselves good field position, but not anymore. 104 yards in the first half. It is extremely fortunate for Wake to still be in this ball game.
And they're going to have to put the ball in the hands of their quarterback, Riley Skinner. He's got 16 attempts already. If he doubles that, it'll be at a career high. They just can't run the ball with all the injuries, with Harris and all those guys out. They're just not getting it done. And I think he'll be okay. I think he'll settle in and be just fine, Ron.
Here are the Remington, the first half stats.
Well, and you touched on the total yards, and for Virginia Tech, if you're just tuning in, those rush yards, it's a lot to do with the fact that Brandon Orr has been out since very early in the first quarter with a sprained ankle.
Lewis, the ball carrier, and the person who stopped him actually was his tight end Sam Wheeler. Check on the sideline with Jack Arute.
Well, Ron, I was fortunate to be invited into the Hokies locker room during halftime. Frank Beamer didn't have a lot to say until the last 30 seconds. He said, fellas, we're where we want to be. It's now about 30 minutes of pride. They resounded with an absolute shout, and they came out here. But one thing I did find out, they're going to try and block a punt in this second half, guys.
Not surprising. Special teams have done so many things for them over the years since Frank has been there to open up ball games. You see the movement along the line of scrimmage by Wake Forest, and this running play is not going to go for very much. And just from watching the first two plays of the second half, I would have to say maybe all of a sudden Wake is going to go in a mind position of, we're going to make you throw the football and do something. We're going to stop your running game.
Well, I don't think there's any question that's exactly what Dean Hood would like to do, is get the ball into Sean Glennon's hands. He's been inconsistent all year, and with Brandon Orr out, it even goes more into that, but it looks like Virginia Tech staying with the same offensive plan, very conservative. We can only hurt ourselves right now the way Wake has been on offense.
Third down. Here comes pressure, and they hit him just as the ball is thrown, and the fullback Weatherford holds on to it. And I'll tell you, from where the linesman is coming in from across the way, he will have the first down by 1 yard. Tucker was applying some good pressure on the quarterback, but not enough to make him throw it awry.
Well, nice job by Glennon. Watch his feet in the pocket, Ron. He gets a little bit of pressure, but hangs in there pretty well. He got hit right as he threw it. But doesn't that look like a little bit of a different guy than we saw on film against Miami and Kent State, where he just was his feet were chattering everywhere, and he just never got set. He's hanging in there pretty well.
Lewis again. Boy, does he get struck down hard after a gain of 1. Boo Robinson said boo to the running back. I'll tell you, then he put him on his backside.
And then, of course, here comes the boos. He had a touchdown against Florida State, and everybody was booing because they were Florida State fans. And he said, no, they were cheering for me as I was returning that fumble.
Sam Wheeler and Ed Wang, a 2 tight end alignment. One running back, so it's a wide receiver to either side. It's Wheeler in motion. Pass comes near sideline, though, and it is caught. Morgan breaks a tackle at the 15, 10, 5, touchdown, Virginia Tech, 53 yards. It's almost a duplication of the opening quarter.
And it was another cornerback, Ron, who never saw the ball. Remember, Patterson on that touchdown to Royal was late getting there and tried to play it, but didn't see Royal. This time, Riley Swanson never sees the ball, and this is a really nice throw by Glennon. He gets hit as he throws it again, but he put it on the back shoulder of the cornerback who never turned around, and Morgan, who is the most physical receiver that Virginia Tech has, runs right through the arm tackle.
Extra point is up and good, and it was Gaddis, number 22, who also had a shot at him and failed. New score, Hokies 14-3. We'll take a break.
ESPN studios with our primetime pulse going on ESPN. Rutgers' unbeaten record in jeopardy. They're losing to Cincinnati at Cincy 17-3 over an ABC. USC beating Cal 3-2 like a baseball score. Now back to ESPN2 in our game. Virginia Tech in control over Wake.
All right, under that kick 5 yards deep into the end zone, and Marion will not return it. So Wake Forest now, it is incumbent upon them to come up with an answer.
Thanks for Wake Forest. Out of sorts. This is a team that has tackled well all year, and Gaddis just doesn't finish this play. He comes over. He's got to get down a little lower, and you can't say enough about Morgan. He's a very powerful young man, but Gaddis has got to make that tackle.
If nothing else, I think the coach would even rather have pass interference and just go through the motions as those two players did and allow him to run free for the touchdown. Looking, still looking, throws it out in the flat and has it complete out of bounds at the 27-yard line as Belton, the fullback. Running Nate Morton deep, but it looked as though he might have gotten a little space there early.
Well, with the largest deficit this season for Wake Forest, it's all going to come down to Riley Skinner. Redshirt freshman out of Jacksonville, Florida. He was a late addition to the recruiting class 2 years ago, but he's played so well this year that they haven't had to have him win the game. He's going to have to be the guy to win the game tonight with the ball, throwing it down the field.
Well, they give it to the fullback again, and Belton will take it for very short yards. Vince Hall on the tackle. Jack, let's go back to you.
Fellas, maybe Riley Skinner is ready, because I asked Jim Grove before the start of the game what his quarterback's best asset was, and he said besides taking good care of the football, he has grown into the position. Not that he's a leader, but he knows the offense now to the point where I think that he can add additional aspects to it, as we've seen, and he says I think he's ready to become one of the leaders.
Well, the stage is there and set for him, and we'll see. Well, look at that. 9 people in the box. The running play, it is amazing. It went for anything positive, and it is enough for the first down as Belton again gets the handoff.
There's been a lot of freshman quarterbacks around the country. Of course, Mitch Mustain's 8-0 record get a big help from the running game at Arkansas.
They don't handle it that much.
And Colt McCoy had that loss last week against Kansas State. So Skinner's had the wins, but now they're in a position where they need him to do just a little bit more. And I think Jack's right. I think he's now at a position with this offense that he can get it done.
Good protection this time. Going to go long. There's a man there. Got it to Morton. Morton finally steps out of bounds inside the 40 at the 38-yard line. Flowers, the man who was covering, but it's good for 30 yards.
Well, this takes a long time to develop. Morton goes to the outside. What a great breaks back to the outside, but this was all set up by Riley Skinner. He had plenty of time in the pocket, and watch how he looks right, and then comes back left and fires the ball. That's a good read of the progression, but it's the offensive line time that allowed that to happen.
14-3. The Hokies have scored early on in this third quarter, as they did back in the first quarter. And Wake trying to come up with an answer. But Woods is going to be hit and knocked down behind the line of scrimmage by Flowers. So immediately on a first down play, they lose 7 yards. And this is absolutely what they can't do.
And this is the third time tonight that Bud Foster, they must see something in that formation, Ron, that tells them something's coming back the other way. Remember, we saw the linebacker, Brendan Hill, come on almost that exact same blitz on that exact same play. Bud Foster has a great game plan for these misdirections so far.
Wood straight ahead, neck-tied, and is going to take it inside the 40. Not quite to the original line of scrimmage. It'll be 3rd down and 11. Linda Cohn, let's check back with you.
Ron, over on ESPN, 7th-ranked and unbeaten Rutgers struggling in Cincinnati. Rutgers QB Mike Teal picked off by D'Angelo Smith, who goes 81 yards to the house. 17-0 Cincy that made it. Cincinnati came in having lost 8 straight games against top 10 teams. A skid that they hope to snap tonight.
All right, Linda, thanks so much. Boy, how much have we talked this week about teams that turn it over or just asking for defeat. Not a pleasant situation for Rutgers right now up in the Queen City. Skinner, pressure from the backside, gets it out there, has a man open at the 20, and Morton will take it inside the 10, down to the 9-yard line, tackled by Harris.
Morton is so reliable. He's exactly where Skinner expects him to be on every play. Watch, he comes all the way across the field, gets lost in the zone coverage, finds that little hole, and Riley Skinner, Ron, he's starting to feel himself a little bit. He's starting to settle in, and he knows he's got to do it. And this is a guy that he can rely on, so of course he's going to go to him.
So they move the pocket. They have 2 30-yard pass plays. Wood, and you know, got to explain to Wood, and I know why he's a 4 for 15er. You can't dance against these guys. You've got to go straight ahead. Well, while you're doing that, they're closing yardage by the numbers. They're wasting downs with a running back who does that.
Yeah, he cannot get into the hole and start dancing a little bit. We go back, we've repeated so many guys lost offensively in the backfield for Wake Forest, and I think this becomes Riley Skinner's game. I agree. Don't waste it anymore, and now you're in a throwing situation.
You know, Dancing with the Stars is over. Emmett won.
Yeah.
He didn't dance then. He carried it straight ahead. Somebody needs to hint that to Woods. Great protection. Pass is almost intercepted. And that was Hill who made the tip on the ball. DJ Parker almost picked it off.
And Wake Forest has been the best team in the red zone in the ACC this year, but this is a mistake by the quarterback. He did not see Hill, the linebacker, dropping off. Hill's played a brilliant game. Guy who came in as a wide receiver has been all over the place, and he's got to find him.
So, situation, 3rd down. They do not need a field goal. They need a touch. Throws the screen. Wood in the flat at the 5, and he'll be tackled at the 4. They're going to mark him down at the 5, though. They say that's where his knee went down. Orion Martin on the tackle, and the field goal unit comes trotting on.
And I'm with you, Rod. I felt like they may have wasted it down there with that running play. Whenever you get 1st and goal from right at about the 9.5-yard line and you can't pick up the 1st, I think those are all throwing downs. And with the way running game's going for Wake Forest today, that might have been a wasted down.
22-yard attempt. Sam Swank, who had an absolutely magnificent year. Well, we had movement. Did we have contact by Virginia Tech? Wake is pointing over toward the Hokie players.
Well, I think they'd still kick it. You know, if they got inside the 1 with the penalty, possibly, but just half the distance.
Defense. After this is going to go. Still 4th down.
I think you still kick it here. I don't think you, from the 2.5 against this defense, get it to 14-6.
You could see Frank Beamer just really his eyes glued on Lobo, the offensive coordinator on the far side of the field.
And this might be too close for Swank.
Well, they declined a penalty, and that's the reason they did it, because the ball is already on the far hash mark.
It's a little tougher the closer you get, but Swank is so good from 50. He just has to kick it the same. Don't overthink it.
Just keep in mind, don't kick it on the hill.
There is a hill there.
Well, they're covered with people that can get it right back to him. He nails it. Right down Broadway on that one. Now let's take a timeout. 7:02 to play. 3rd quarter. New score, 14-6 Hokies. So we are back, and some of the faithful here in Winston-Salem trying to cheer their Demon Deacons on. They are 9-1. They have to go all the way back to 1944 since they have had a record that good, and they've never been 10-1. So they have cut the lead to 8. From the 3, this is Roy. Eddie Roy gets by a tackle at the 20. Far sideline, 35-40. Cuts it back again. He'll go across midfield and dances out of bounds at around the 43.
It's been Wake Forest all year, Ron, that has been the better team in almost every game in field position. But with that 55-yard kickoff return, this game, field position has been almost all Virginia Tech. Jim Grobe talked about that when he was talking to Jack Arute on the way off the field, that they just have not had good field position, and the kicking game so good for them so far has not been good tonight.
I remember when Eddie was signed by Virginia Tech, and boy, the coaches were really excited for that very reason right there. Herndon, Virginia, sprint champion, really makes things happen. He doesn't stay in one spot very long. 55 yards on the return. That's a career long for him as they throw to Harper. And Harper, nice defensive play, hit behind the line of scrimmage by Smith. Len McCone, what do you got for us?
The Pac-10 title up for grabs, Ron, on ABC. 3-0 USC. C.J. Gable gets tackled in the end zone. Brandon Mebane puts Cal on the board. USC needs a win to keep national championships hopes alive. It's 3-2 USC.
Top of the fourth.
Yeah, top of the fourth. You know, that was the final score in a Sugar Bowl game. And I know LSU was one of the teams. I'm going to have to go back and look at the record books to see who the other one was. But that was the final, 3-2.
I don't think that one's going to 3-2 with those offensive.
Pac-10 team?
Yeah, exactly.
Sorry. George Bell to tailback. Pressure is on. Got a look on the quarterback, but the pass is thrown complete to Clowney. And Clowney is finally tackled inside the 30-yard line. That's plenty enough for the first down. Glennon took a pretty good shot on that one, Ed.
And Glennon, I tell you, Ron, he looks like a different guy tonight. He has really improved his mechanics. That's a long throw back across the field as he's getting hit. And Clowney doing a good job of coming back to the ball. But Glennon has looked so much sharper tonight than he has with Brandon Orr out. He has to be.
Frank had to be saying, David, why are you sprinting the opposite direction? Well, he came back to help out his quarterback and did a nice job of it. First down at the 27. Straight ahead with the head down, George Bell. 5'10", 234 pounds. He's a load. Jack, what do you got for us?
You know, Ed, you're talking about Sean stepping up to the plate, so to speak, in quarterback. One of the things I've noticed, he's distributing the ball pretty well in terms of his receivers as well. You know, I asked him yesterday, I says, when all else fails, who's your go-to receiver? And he said, that was the toughest thing for me to learn, that I have to always be focused enough to make sure I find the open guy. Then he did smile and say, of course, I like Eddie Royal a little bit because I've been around him so long.
Yeah, and it's that yak, the yards after catch that he likes about Eddie Royal as well. Sets in the pocket, far side, ball is tipped. That's a nice defensive play. His tight end, Sam Wheeler, was open, but Aaron Kerr got back on a deep drop and got a handoff.
Yeah, the first guy he was looking at was his old high school teammate, Eddie Royal, sprinting down the sideline, and that was good coverage, so he came down, and that's the thing that the coaches have been working with. Is don't get locked in on one guy. Don't get locked in on one part of the field. So even though the throw is incomplete, he's starting to make some progress in that area.
So a lot of yellow towels out. They don't call them terrible towels here at Wake. Not sure what they call them, but they are down 14-6, and they know full well they cannot give up a touchdown to the Hokies at this juncture. They need to take it to the 17. Pass in and out of the hands of Wheeler, the tight end, as the ball was thrown behind him. And it was Tucker again. Giles Tucker with the pressure.
Glennon was mad at himself because if he throws this ball on spot to Sam Wheeler, Wheeler picks up the first down. Throws it behind him. I don't think that Smith would have gotten there in time to keep the 253-pound tight end from fighting for the first down yardage.
42-yard field goal attempt. Going to keep the string going. Good pass, good kick, plenty of distance, and the streak is alive. Let's take a timeout. New score, Hokies 17 and the Demon Deacons 6. We'll be right back. Ball game tonight, extremely impressive. Out of 181 kickoffs before this evening, 89 of those had been touchbacks.
And they lowered the tee this year, Ron. Remember, they went from 2 inches to 1 inch to lower the sweet spot. I guess doesn't affect him too much.
Hasn't bothered too many guys. Here's the boot. This one long, and at the 3-yard line, they're going to return it. It's Marion, and Marion's not going to make the 15-yard line. Len McCone, what do you got
Buckeyes down 17-3 and knocking on the door late in the first half, but Mike Teal is picked off for the second time in this game, this time by Mike Mickens. Jeremy Ito also missed a 31-yard field goal in this game, so they go to the half. Cincy up 17-3.
Okay, Linda. Turnovers. That's what we talked about earlier. You go more than a couple, and I don't care who you're playing. You're saying thank you too many times.
And things start to get interesting in the Big East. Who will represent them in the BCS if Rutgers goes down?
(17-6) the new score. Double reverse. Ball is pitched back to Idolette. And Willie gets hit pretty hard at the 22-yard line and then knocked down Brendan Hill, the first man to get there and make contact with him.
Boy, Brendan Hill is having a really good ball game. He's been all over the field. This is the most productive reverse that they've run all night. Of course, Wake Forest runs it all the time, but Brendan Hill came to Virginia Tech as a wide receiver. He spent some time at safety, finally ended up at outside linebacker. He's been all over the place tonight.
2nd down and 2. Gain of 8 on that last play. Little draw play to Harris. Harris in the ball game, going to have the first down. Now this is how badly these kids on this team want to win. The doctor said he was not going to play anymore this year. ACL injury. Well, got a heavy brace on that knee.
And that's that zone play, Ron, where they start out looking like they're going to the left and come back and use Riley Skinner. And I think the reason they can put him in is he can't cut very much, but he's not a cut runner. He's a big, powerful guy that can run downhill.
Straight ahead, and he looked more productive than what we've seen so far tonight.
I think straight ahead is exactly what they need, not that dancing in the hole stuff.
On first down, they throw the screen. He gets it again, puts a head down, and is tackled at the 34. They say the ball is alive. It has been picked up by Virginia Tech, and that is a touchdown if they let it stand by Adibi.
And Harris got knocked out on the play, Ron. It was a helmet-to-helmet contact. And there was no whistle, and Adibi picked up the ball thinking that it was dead, didn't hear the whistle, and very wisely took off with it.
Well, now Rouse makes the hit. Watch him.
Yeah,
36.
It's helmet to helmet, and I think, yeah, right in the ear hole. Boy, Ron, and that's a fumble. He doesn't have control of it, and it's because he got knocked clean out by Rouse. In the NFL, they've tried to clean that up. That would be either a penalty or a fine later in the week with the helmet-to-helmet hit, but that's not going to get overturned, Ron.
Well, no, they're having to hold up because he is still down on the field, so absolutely. They can't rush in, and we'll see if it is replayed. They are reviewing it.
It was Rouse hitting Harris right in the ear hole, and he went limp right on contact, and the ball came out. Clearly a fumble. And Adibi, who goes to stop, says, wait a minute, no whistle. Good heads-up play. It's so hard for big safeties. Rouse goes about 230 pounds. Come up and be physical, but just got to keep your head up.
Turns it upfield, and
watch right when he hits that ear hole, Ron. Just goes limp.
Surprised, obviously, that no flag was thrown because head-to-head very easily could have been.
And it's hard. The officials at that speed, of course, we're watching it in slow motion. It is sometimes hard to see, but boy, it looked right at the shot that was helmet-to-helmet and could have been personal foul. Well, and for Wake Forest, things go from bad to worse.
Video confirms touchdown.
Video confirms also head-to-head competition. Should have been a flag, Mr. Official. 35 yards on the return of the fumble.
And not only do you give up the score, but you may have lost another running back. Virginia Tech, this is all part of that Beamer ball, blocking the kicks, and defensive touchdowns. Bud Foster does an excellent job drilling these guys, trying to pick up the ball and score with it.
Pace, extra point attempt up and good. So with 3:01 showing in the third quarter, our new score is the Hokies 24 and the Demon Deacons 6. Now, we talked about this group of linebackers off the top of the telecast tonight about how active they were and how everybody contributes something. And a good example right there is Rouse made the hit, and the DB was right there to pick the ball up.
Well, and you go back to the report that Jack made earlier about the finger pointing during the 2-game skid in the middle of the season. And Vince Hall was in there, and a DB was in there, and there was some yelling and screaming, and Frank Beamer put a stop to it. And since that moment, Nolan Burchett, the senior defensive end, has stepped up and become more of a verbal leader. And with all of the struggles offensively, it's been Virginia Tech's defense that has been the difference in a season now, Ron, where they're positioning themselves for 10 or 11 wins, and nobody would have thought that possible after those 2 embarrassing losses to Georgia Tech and Boston College.
Well, when you add this defensive score right here to go along with the offensive score, that's 2 TDs in the third quarter in 1 minute and 43 seconds for the Hokies. You see a body on the sideline moving around talking to some of his defensive counterparts. Kevin Marion, one of the deep men, along with Woods.
You can't say enough about the job that Bud Foster has done this season. He always does a great job, but boy, these guys are playing at a high level.
You bet they are. This kick is going to go 8 yards deep and out of the back of the end zone. And let's check down on the sideline with Jack Arute.
Well, fellas, we saw that hard hit in the end result on the running back. Well, and Virginia Tech has been developing over the last couple of years a way to try and measure those type of impacts. A lot of their players have sensors in their helmets, and they'll keep a track of the cumulative number of impacts and the number of G's that are pulled. This is all experimental with the idea of trying to develop better safeguards for those type of hits that we just saw.
Well, they continue to talk to Harris on the sideline. I'm not sure he knows yet exactly where he is. As on first down, they go with the sweep. Woods turns it up, and they'll have the ball close to the 30-yard line.
Well, one of the things they've done is Rydell, the helmet company, as Woods comes up gimpy now, it's just adding up for Wake Forest. Their studies showed that it was hits to the side of the head that caused, around the jaw area, that caused more concussions. And if you've ever seen the helmet that like Peyton Manning wears and those guys, it comes down farther onto the jaw, and that's the exact hit that Harris took.
Enough for the first down. Idolette in motion, gets it, and will have about 3 yards. And a flag comes in, and I have to say this, Ellis is a man who was putting on the pressure. A DB hit him, but a DB also tried to stop and hold him up.
Well, they called this earlier on Rouse when it didn't look to me like the play continued. Well, he ducked his head. I think that Idolette was out of bounds, and he ducked his head. I think that's what they're getting him for.
Yeah, but he realized where he was and then tried to grab him. But by that time, the flag had been thrown.
Dead ball. Late hit it out of bounds. Number 11 of the defense. 15 yards. Automatic first down.
Let's see if he ducks his head. And you know, after the play to Harris, they're probably, I bet the officials are a little more apt to call this because the player's already been injured with a helmet-to-helmet hit.
So 6 penalties against Virginia Tech for 65 yards, 2 against Wake tonight for a total of 22. And the clock about to start again with 2 minutes and 13 seconds left to play third quarter. And the Hokies putting some distance between themselves and the Demon Deacons. Skinner steps up deep over the middle, got a man, throws it complete, and that is Idolette inside the 30 at the 27-yard line. That's good for 28 yards.
Well, the good news for Wake Forest, as Skinner runs out of the pocket, throws the ball a little high, but a good catch. But the good thing for Wake Forest is they often run a no-huddle offense, and they're going to be very quick, Ron. And with the new clock rules down 24-6, they're going to need to be in the hurry-up if they want to close this gap and get back in the ballgame.
See the numbers on Idolette, averaging over 21 yards per reception. D'Angelo Bryant in the ballgame at tailback. just throws this one away to Linda Cohn. Let's check back with you.
Okay, Ron and Ed, 9th-ranked LSU playing host to Ole Miss. Ben Jarvis, Greenell is up and over his 7th touchdown of the season. Ole Miss is up 14-7. Could LSU, looking past this one, to next week's game against Arkansas?
Linda, I can tell you just the history of that one. Ole Miss always plays LSU. I don't care how big an underdog they are, or vice versa. Those two teams play each other extremely well. Second down and 10. Now here comes the flag, and they have gotten the ball back to Marion as they pitched it back after the end around, and he's going to be knocked out of bounds at the 15 by DJ Parker.
Marion, a young man that Jim Grobe and his staff took a bit of a chance on, injured his knee twice in high school, only played one season of high school football down in Florida. You don't want to be hurting yourself in this situation, but took a bit of a chance. The Florida schools passed because of those injuries.
Illegal formation. Since 7 men on the line of scrimmage by the offense. 5 yards on the line of scrimmage. Repeat down.
His microphone was cutting out. He was saying less than 7.
Right.
Okay.
Yeah. 7 is the rule.
No,
7 is what you're supposed to have. Good pickup. Now Riley Skinner in a position, and we have not. Bud Foster has not brought a lot of pressure tonight against this young quarterback because he's gotten pressure with his 4. But now you're in an obvious passing situation, something short. But I wouldn't be surprised if Hall, the middle linebacker, maybe dances around and comes.
Only the 3rd penalty against Wake Forest, but as Ed said, that hurt them because of the good yardage they picked up. That pass caught inside the 20-yard line. Again, it's Willie Idolette.
Ron, you need a quick score, and on 3rd and short, to me, I think you'd probably go for it on 4th. I think you can take a shot here in the end zone. We've already seen the reverse pass. Remember in the Clemson game, Morton, who was a quarterback in high school, back to Riley. I don't know if they try that, but I would think something to the end zone may be in the works here.
Morton has thrown a couple. He threw that one against Clemson and then threw one last year. 3rd down. Line to make is the 16-yard line. Right left, they give it to him. Turns the corner, and he is not going to have the first down. I believe. Well, now wait a minute. Where the line judge is coming in. Brendan Hill made the tackle.
I don't think that he. Well, it's awfully close. I don't think he got it, but I think at 24-6 you have to go for it here on 4th down. No question, Jim Grobe is going to. But Idolette, we talked earlier about just getting downhill. But there's 31, Brendan Hill, just played a sensational game. I just sneak it, Ron. You just got to pick up the first.
Skinner turns and hands it off to his fullback, Belton. And Belton will have the first down at the 14. Vince Hall again with a tackle. Good heavens, how many tackles do those 3 linebackers have tonight?
Well, and the guy who's always kind of overlooked is Brendan Hill, because Hall and DB have been so good together. And now we go to the 4th quarter. Things get a little dire for Wake Forest.
So that is the end of the 3rd quarter. And as we head to the 4th and final stanza, the question is, can the Demon Deacons come back and continue their streak? Of the drive, it all started back at the 20-yard line. 24-6 our score if you just joined us. It is the Hokies leading, and Wake trying to get a touchdown on the board. Handoff, short yardage on the running play is Woods is horse collared by Carlton Powell.
Go back to what you said last time Wake Forest was in the red zone. I think these are all throws. I think you move Riley Skinner out of the pocket. He throws very well on the run. You've got all the field to the right. Morton down here at the bottom. Idolette in close to his right. I think you've got to put the ball in your quarterback's hands in this situation.
Good look at Lobo, the offensive coordinator. And they got the quarterback blocking. Going to have Woods carry, and Woods will go for maybe 3 yards. No, they're going to say that he's down at the 13, and Barry Booker makes the tackle along with Kerry Wade.
Well, but now you've played into the hands of Virginia Tech, because the running game has just been non-existent tonight. 64 total yards rushing for Wake Forest. And now you're at 3rd and long behind the sticks again. And now Bud Foster can do whatever he'd like. He hasn't been bringing pressure on 3rd down because they've played coverage so well.
Well, let's see what Bud comes up with here, because it's 3rd down and they have to take this ball inside the 5-yard line. Marion in motion. They give it to him. Turns the corner to 10, and he is close to the first down. In fact, from where the official has put a foot down, no, it's still going to be short. You can see the yellow line. He just missed it. Roland Minor.
They're still going to go for it on 4th, just like they did on their last 4th down. So, and you know, the last time, Ron, Virginia Tech didn't put anybody over the center justice. And I would be surprised if Wake Forest doesn't go up and just go a quick snap and run ahead if they don't put a nose guard up there.
Well, here they come quickly to the line of scrimmage. You may be exactly right. 2 tight ends, 2 wide receivers, and a single back. It's Belton, the fullback. And that's who they give it to him. Whoa, I don't know. Boy, he got smacked hard by Booker and pushed back. Now the ball is loose, and Virginia Tech has picked it up.
I just don't think you want to give Virginia Tech, who has so much speed, time to make penetration. Even though it's quick, look at the middle. It's wide open. That's Hall, the linebacker. He's at about 2 feet of depth, 2 yards of depth. I think he just goes straight ahead with the quarterback. Don't give the defensive line time. That was a slant called by Bud Foster trying to get penetration. An excellent defensive call, but I think he played into their hands. Yeah, that was an excellent job by Bud Foster. He called a slant to the right for his defense, and the penetration blew up the play to the fullback. If they go quarterback sneak run, it's just too quick. The slant wouldn't get there.
Take a look at Cal. 9-6 over SC.
Cal got caught looking ahead last week down in Tucson.
So Virginia Tech takes over the ball at their own 5-yard line with just over 13 minutes to play. And they'll give the ball to Kenny Lewis. We may see a lot of this right here. Just from tackle to tackle, let's just carry the football, run that clock, and get back up to Blacksburg.
Boy, they'd like to have number 28 for this part of the game. Brandon Orr, who was hurt in the first quarter, tried to get up with a retaped ankle, could not put weight on it. And Lewis, the true freshman, although he played 3 years of minor league baseball, but Orr was done awfully early tonight.
You know, we've had several kids this year that in games that we've had, when you've had 2, 3, 4 years off, you wonder how quickly, if at all, you can get back. Nice job of dodging the tackle, and with that second effort is going to have the first down, tackled by Gaddis. Let's check in again with Jack Arute. Jack?
Fellas, you all know the story about the lunch pail, the famed lunch pail that the Virginia Tech Hokies D brings to every game and every practice. Well, guess what? This season, the lunch pail was awarded early on, but then after the Georgia Tech and BC losses, the lunch pail, well, the defense said we don't want it awarded. So the lunch pail, I looked on the sidelines, it's not here tonight because they want to be treated as a whole, not for individual effort.
Okay, Jack. Hey, why change a good thing if they're winning? It's like if it ain't broke, don't fix it.
Well, it was funny because we were talking to Bud Foster about the lunch pail and that he's had it during this win streak. He said, you know, it's not like we're superstitious or anything. And I thought to myself, what? You're a football coach. Of course you're superstitious. And of course, it's a superstitious move that nobody gets the lunch pail, coach.
Bud doesn't care as long as they keep playing with the kind of tenacity that they had played with here tonight.
Well, Darryl Tapp owned that thing for 2 years, and now he's off in Seattle playing for the Seahawks. So the lunch pail's bouncing around again.
Second down for the Hokies, 24-6. They lead it straight ahead on the running play. Big opening behind McGrath and Rinder and Dwayne Brown. And that is going to be plenty enough for the first down. And let's go back to Jack Arute.
Glad you're talking about the fact that Darryl Tapp had that possession of that lunch pail for 2 years. When he left and went to Seattle, guess what he took with him?
The lunch pail?
The lunch pail.
Of course.
He said he needed it for a chance to make the Seahawks team, and they had to get another lunch pail because Darryl Tapp would not let go of that one.
So there was not another lunch pail, Jack, in the Northwest. Is that what you're telling us?
I guess he wanted that one.
Well, Bud Foster gets lunch pails all the time. People mail them to him, and he's got a little stash in his closet.
London Code, let's check back with you.
Ron on ABC, USC, number 3 in the BCS poll, struggling against Cal. Nate Longshore's 22nd touchdown pass of the year. This one to Lavelle Hawkins. And you can bet Michigan, Florida, Notre Dame are all loving this score right now.
Okay, London. So a 5-yard gain on that play. And again, as we hinted that it might be, we're not going to see anything that is aesthetically exciting necessarily. But if you're a Hokie fan, it's exciting as that clock runs down. We're about to go into 10 minutes to play. Good lick at the line of scrimmage that time. A gain of 1. And then a wall. And it was Arnoux, Stanley Arnoux, who was stepping up into the hole to make the hit on Lewis.
It's interesting that Kenny Lewis, when he was drafted by the Cincinnati Reds, didn't even really want to go, Ron. He wanted to play football at Virginia Tech. The problem was Cincinnati gave him 500,000 reasons why he should come play in their minor league system. And then he just lost his passion for the game and said, I want to go play for the Hokies.
Boston College with a really good win today. Congratulations to Coach O'Brien and his staff as Lewis hit behind the line of scrimmage and penetration by Arnoux. Another good tackle by him on the play. Now all of a sudden with the new clock,
unbelievable.
Just a minute ago I said there was 10:15 left. We are about to hit 9:15.
Well, and for Wake Forest, they're in that last gasp in this game. They need something. A punt block would be very nice at this point to try to get something quick.
Well, here's the boot by Schmidt. Idolette is the deep man. This is a short kick. Idolette ran away from it. Now it takes a Virginia Tech bounce. They're going to pick up another 10 yards after that bounce. 8:56 left in our ball game. 18-point lead by the Hokies. 45 on that kick. Jim Grobe continuing to coach on the sideline, and his Chargers are down and down big as this ball game. That pass right there almost picked off as Flowers was the man in position to tip it. But Virginia Tech has really put together a nice ball game tonight, and the difference, Bud Foster's defense has really been playing consistently. Tonight, the offensive side of the ball really showed up.
Yeah, Glennon played well. When Brandon Orr went out, he just looked better in the pocket.
Red zone alert. Cincinnati about to score as a sack takes place at the 10-yard line. That's Corey Robertson as Virginia Tech now is playing a number of the second-team defensive linemen.
And here's a scary thing, Ron. And things look bad in the middle of the season for Virginia Tech. All the bickering, and they had the 2 losses. They're only going to lose 3 defensive starters off of this team going into next season. And this is one of the best defenses in the country. It's frightening how much better they're going to continue to get this year, including a bowl game into next season.
Third down, screen pass. That's overthrown. But right over the head of Woods. Brendan Hill was the man applying the pressure. And for Wake Forest, they're going to punt the ball right back. And the clock shows 8:03 to play.
And Wake Forest has just not been an explosive offense all year. They've made some big plays, but they just rely on some form of running game, Ron. And with all of the injuries they've had, Kenneth Moore, who was converted as a wide receiver, hasn't played much with his shoulder. They just haven't been able to get the balance that they need to play against a team like Virginia Tech.
And this is a record as far as Sam is concerned, his 7th punt. They had 5 in the first half.
I think he likes his record of 5 50-plus field goals in a season better than that.
Yeah, I think you're exactly right. 24-6. All Hokies will be right back.
Remington Titanium Shavers and Wrangler, makers of Wrangler Jeans Company. New fits, new comforts, new styles.
So we are back as you take a look at the Wake Forest band as they play away. And the band that came down from Virginia Tech tonight. They've had a lot to play for and be excited about. And now those long stares on the Wake Forest sideline as they know that with under 8 minutes to play that this juggernaut in the form of Virginia Tech is going to get this one tonight. Okay, explain.
And it's going to be hard, Ron, because Wake Forest, if they go on the road and win against Maryland, they could clinch in the Atlantic to go and play Georgia Tech. They're going to have to get over this loss very quickly. For Maryland, if they beat Wake Forest and Boston College, who they lost to today, loses to Miami, they're in. And Boston College, with their win today, got back in the race. If they beat Miami, Florida, and Wake Forest loses to Maryland, they're the team that goes. So still an open division, all based on what happens at Maryland next week.
So under 7 minutes to play in this one. The most important thing for Wake, if they do lose it, it certainly appears as though they will. They got to get over it quickly. I mean, get over it, get your focus, and get back to work, and also find a healthy tailback.
Oh, and that's going to be the key. Absolutely. They're going to have to get Kenneth Moore healthy. Hopefully Harris isn't dinged too bad from that helmet-to-helmet hit, because without that, they'll go on the road to Maryland. Maryland playing much better.
That's the last time they won an ACC title. Look at the year on that, 1970.
And it's been a year of firsts for Jim Grobe in his 6th season, with his first full recruiting class as 5th-year seniors this year. They went on the road and beat Florida State for the first time in forever. They won 9 games for the first time in school history, so don't count them out.
6:05 and counting. Pumps it, going to go on top, got a man wide open, and it is complete to Connie inside the 20-yard line. And now they're going to say exactly on the 20 is where he stepped out of bounds. Patrick G making the tackle.
Well, Glennon has been consistent tonight. This is a pump and go, and just an excellent throw. Kept it away from the safety, Ron. The safety actually got over there. That was G, but he threw it to the outside, and that has been the issue for him so far this year, as he struggles sometimes with his accuracy. That was a very nice throw because the safety stayed in position. He's really stepped up his game with Brandon Orr out this evening.
14 of 21, 192 yards and 2 touchdowns.
And 0 interceptions. That's really been the key.
Well, those turnovers, we were talking about Rutgers and why they're struggling tonight. Pitchback comes on the running play. Bell decides can't go anywhere. Let's turn it north and south and let me butt somebody. Arnu will make the tackle. We've called his name a lot here in the second half.
Of course, Glennon was battling Ike Whitaker and Corey Holt to see who's going to be the starter coming in this year, because Marcus Vick was excused from the team after last season. And it was a very close competition. And the one thing, Whitaker, a very athletic young man, he has a lively arm, but he's been struggling some with his consistency and accuracy in practice, and the coaches just want to see a little bit more of that before they'll start putting him in the game.
Tell you one thing, though, Whitaker, I've looked over there twice, and when Glenn has done a good job on the field as Lewis is tackled after a gain of 1, nobody's been jumping up and down any quicker or any higher, as he is pulling for the man who has the starting position.
You know, it's interesting, too. He's the guy sending in the signals, and one of the reasons that Glennon got the job was they had so much youth on their offensive line. They wanted a guy who knew the entire offense, and Whitaker, just a freshman, was still learning. Well, if you give that guy the job of sending in the plays, now he's mentally more in tune to the game, and so he knows the play, he knows the information. Yeah, absolutely. Don't make that guy sit on the sideline with his helmet and not know the play and not know what's going on. That's a good learning process for a young quarterback.
3rd down, they need to take it to the 11-yard lines. It's going to be Kenny Lewis again. Could be well short of the 1st down. And right now, Coach Beamer just couldn't care less about that situation. He's looking at that clock, which just went under 4 minutes left in this ball game.
Well, when you have Brandon Pace, who now has 20 straight field goals, it's almost automatic at this distance.
You can see Schmidt, the punter, who's holding for him. He dwarfs.
Yeah, Pace, 275. The guy squats almost 600 pounds, and he's a punter.
Pace is not small at 196. 35-yard attempt. And he keeps the string going. 21 straight. Now some of the players having to be separated, but getting a little chippy. 3:28 left in the ball game. 27-6. Hokies. They're back. A body having trouble realizing that this is happening. This ball club has been able to come back. They have been so resilient. They've had so many injuries, and they've overcome all of those obstacles. But I'll tell you, you've got to give all the credit to Virginia Tech and to their coaching staff, as Marion will return this one just short of the 15-yard line. Now, here is tonight Sharp Aqua's image of the game.
And I think this sums up the whole thing. Josh Morgan makes a good play on the ball, but there just should have been a tackle. Wake Forest all year has been so sound with their technique and tackling and blocking, and just a couple of times they've let things. We saw Eddie Royal earlier in the game run through Kevin Patterson for the touchdown, and that's just kind of been what we've seen all night.
How about Arizona? They won again today. And how about Rice? They are bowl eligible. They got their 6th win today.
We saw them against Texas. It didn't look like they'd have enough in the tank to get bowl eligible.
No, that's for sure. But there's another young coaching staff that deserves a lot of credit.
Well, the tough part for Jim Grobe after such a difficult night on offense is he's got to get his team to snap out of it. We just showed you a moment ago, as the streak is on the line for games with a touchdown. They control their own destiny in the Atlantic, and he's going to have to turn these guys around tonight. They're going to have to get over this quickly.
Well, that ball intended for Morton, couldn't hold on to it, so that'll stop the clock. 2:56 showing left in this ball game.
And the positive message that he can send to these guys is, listen, you've played well enough that a loss like this doesn't take you out of the race. And that's what Jim Grobe said he wanted to do when he got here, was play for championships, and they're still in the hunt.
You know, the other thing, that I looked at a situation with a veteran coach like Frank Beamer. As the pressure comes, and this one is just thrown away. I think he knew full well that to come in here with the momentum that this Wake club has had, and to come in here is like a prize fight. Get a good shot early, and they did when they scored in 3 plays. And the crowd was stunned. Wake was stunned. All that patting on the back went for nothing now.
Well, and for Frank Beamer, he's done it before where he's relied on his kicking game and his defense, and none more than this year. Bud Foster, just an amazing job coordinating his defense.
8th punt of the night. That is a record as far as Sam Swank is concerned. Linda Cohn, let's check back with you.
Okay, Ron, time for our primetime pulse. Check in on what's going on in our family of networks over on ESPN. Cincinnati beating Rutgers 20-3 in the 3rd. Rutgers could be heading to their first loss of the year. Over on ABC, a stunning development. Cal leading USC 9-6. And of course, your game over on ESPN2 as Virginia Tech in control of Wake Forest. Now back to you, Ron and Ed.
Okay, Linda, thanks so much. I'll tell you another ball game. It's not on television tonight. Ole Miss is now leading LSU 17-7 at Baton Rouge.
Well, and that would clinch it for Arkansas in the SEC West. So now you're looking at possibly 2 one-loss teams playing for the SEC championship in Arkansas and Florida.
Corey Holt in the ball game at quarterback. As you look at Lewis, gets it outside, wouldn't go left, bounced it back to the right. He's going to take it all the way down to the 26-yard line. Riley Swanson makes the tackle after a 25-yard gain.
You know, as an old offensive lineman, you know what my favorite part of that run was?
What?
He didn't go out of bounds.
You and the coaching staff and everybody else.
You know, the big guys are huffing and puffing a little bit right now. And Corey Holt comes in.
This, with the new clock situation, for the time that we started and what I'm looking at right now, this is going to be under 3 hours on this ball game tonight.
Well, give a lot of credit to Sean Glennon. I think this might be the best overall ball game that he has played this year.
And let's go down to the sideline again. Jack Arute, what do you got for us, partner?
You know, Ron, I'm really honored to be working with you guys tonight, but I'm probably most honored with finally being able to call a game with a fellow that I called back when he was in college, and then when he went on to become an offensive lineman for the Arizona Cardinals. Your own partner upstairs looks a little different, though, back in those days. I don't know. Do you like him better now?
Well,
he's back like that.
Jack, he's a few cheeseburgers short of how he was then. Played 5 seasons in the NFL for the Cardinals, 1996.
What happened to you,
Hey, Jack, in case they're waiting, I'm Ed Cunningham, not the guy who just. I look more like an accountant now, Ron.
Were those pads that large, or how much did you weigh?
I was right in that 290 to 300 range back when I played for the Cardinals. And, you know, a teammate of mine, Ricky Prohl, who's a great Wake Forest alumni, one of the best receivers in the last 10 or 15 years in the NFL. And yeah, the first time he saw me, I actually saw him before the game. He's like, "Are you sure that's you?" Yeah, Ricky, it was me.
Oh, my. Clock is running, 35 seconds. You're a good sport. Thanks for allowing us to do that. We were going to do it anyway.
Yeah.
But
thanks, Jack.
Look at that number. 11-1 in ACC road games since joining the conference in 2004. And the snap will be taken. And here is everybody's favorite formation as the quarterback takes a knee, and this one heads into the record books as not just a win for the Hokies, but I mean they came in on a mission and they took care of business. They win it 27-6. Frank Beamer continues that impressive win in the conference on the road.
Well, and he has a lot of respect for Jim Grove. And an excellent job by Frank and his staff.
Let's go down to Jack Arute, who is with Coach Beamer.
Coach, congratulations. What was the key tonight?
Well, we just kind of hung in there. You know, our offense answered. When they got a field goal, we came back and got a field goal. I think we just kind of hung in there and found another way to win. And I'm awfully proud of this football team. This is a good Wake Forest football team. And
Your team has been very good all year defensively, but give me your assessment of where your offense is right now.
Well, you know, Brandon Orr went out early, and so that hurts us. But Kenny Lewis, George Bell came in there. You know, I think we just find a way to win. I kind of like this crowd. Sean Glennon over here kind of finds a way to get it done, and I'm proud of our football team.
Thanks, Coach.
Thank you.
So once again, our final tonight, Virginia Tech 27 and Wake Forest 6. Now on ESPN2, it is Tennis Masters Cup. For more on this game, we'll be on ESPN News in just a moment to wrap things up. This has been a presentation.